Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Sid Meier's Gettysburg in our Confederate Let's Play series. We're into part 5 of this series, and we're into the decisive moment of the Battle of Gettysburg. So far, every fight has gone against us, from McPherson's Hill and Oak Hill, which were both tactical defeats on the 1st of July, to Early's attack on Howard at Barlow's Knoll, and most recently, the battle for Warefield Ridge. In both cases, in both the most recent cases, marginal Union victories, just barely Union forces hanging on just by the skin of their teeth, has dramatically changed the Battle of Gettysburg. The first resulted in a defensive Confederacy on the first battle of July 2nd. Our troops were unable to rout Howard, which meant Sickles just went on the offensive in our last battle and attacked us at Warefield Ridge, and Longstreet was unable to take the position from Sickles. We launched a counteroffensive, and we're also on the defensive, so that was kind of a meeting engagement, and both McLaws and Hood were unable to rout Sickles and his supporting forces, which means that we are now on our last ropes. General Richard Anderson, commander of a division under General Hill, is now the last thing between us an assured defeat for the Confederacy. So this next battle is the deciding point. Up to this point, the Confederacy can still win up to a tactical victory. So the three types of victories in the battle. After all these battles are said and done, you get a result that tells you what the Battle of Gettysburg will be remembered as in the history books. A tactical victory is basically the historic Union victory at Gettysburg, a clear victory for one side that forces the other to retreat from the field of battle and means that, while clearly a victory and obviously one side won, the army isn't destroyed, right? So the Confederacy was defeated at Gettysburg in a tactical defeat. Clearly they lost. Pickett's charge assured that it was clearly a defeat, and it meant the Confederacy had to withdraw, but they weren't, destroyed. A decisive victory would lead to the complete destruction of one army or the other by being surrounded, and a marginal victory would basically be like Gettysburg for the Union after July 2nd. If the Confederates had withdrawn after July 2nd, they would have routed the Union or nearly routed some of their parts on the first day of the fight. They would have been held back just barely by the skin of their teeth on the second day of fight, and there was no decisive result, and it just kind of was like, all right, well, the Union hung on. Antietam would probably be a marginal Union victory from a battlefield perspective. So this next battle will decide whether the Confederacy can win a tactical or marginal victory, or if we lose this next battle, then essentially the final battle on July 3rd will just be the Union attacking our rear guard as we try and get the army away. So essentially, if we win here, we could get something to Pickett's charge, which may allow us to win the battle. If we lose here, then we will be losing the battle for sure, and it's just a matter of whether it's a tactical defeat, a marginal defeat, or a decisive defeat for the Confederacy. But we'll see. We'll fight this battle out. This was taken from a live stream from a couple of days ago, and that's enough of me rambling. Let's go ahead and jump into the battle. General Anderson defending against a Union assault on the left flank, or the Confederate right flank. So we'll see how that influences the next fight.
General Hill, our efforts to secure the right of our line have failed. General Longstreet was defeated.
Yes, General.
You must move Anderson's division into this area and to drive those people away so that we may recover what has been lost here and defeat the enemy.
Anderson is here, sir, and ready. We will drive them, sir.
You must
Great.
hold this position
So
at
we,
the end of the
despite a
battle.
marginal Union victory, we were defeated.
This is your best brigade.
Oh, this is shaping up for the Confederate Army to be destroyed and bagged in the way it was last night, except this time I've been trying.
Sir, we'll get it back. Maneuver column. Brigade, wheel right. Maneuver column. Brigade, wheel left. Out of line. Maneuver column. Maneuver column.
All right, be a hero. You must drive them. Watch us be outnumbered like 20-1 again. Again, we weren't outnumbered 20-1. The manpower-wise was pretty darn similar. The challenge is the way the game manages the regiments.
Battle line.
We've got to try and take Plank Hill. I don't know if taking the other two objectives has a substantial impact or not on the...
Give me the binoculars.
Should be able to see from there and shoot down this Union line. Those guys are engaged. These guys are not. Them a little bit. Moving them a little bit gives them better line of sight. All right. 3 brigades going forward at once, in unison. Let's take Plank Hill. Let's do it, boys. You know we can do it. If the Federals just sit passively for once on the defensive, so we don't get one of those meeting engagement type battles where we have to do a whole bunch of fancy maneuver. Just go straight at them, boys. Just go straight at them. Mahone, you gotta protect Wilcox's flank. Mahone's position's gonna be key here. Him and Perry. Of course, there were 2 enemy regiments over here, so...
Reporting, General.
Alright, Anderson, your division's going in. 48th Georgia and 3rd Georgia might be able to overlap the enemy flank. Of course, they've got more reinforcements coming up. Alright, all of Mahone's regiments more or less are engaged. Right is also engaged. Our artillery appears to be pounding away. And they can fire down pretty much the line of Yankees here. So that'll add additional stress here to these Federals who, again, if their flags are to be believed, they're about to run away. Before I move the guys over here, I want to see if the 2nd Florida uncovers anything that way. Right, Wilcox has pushed back a couple of enemy regiments. You can see them pouring in reserves, more reinforcements coming in. Alright, 2nd Florida, you're going to stay here. You're going to move. I'm never able to have any reserves as the Confederates either. That's the other challenge, it seems like. All these guys have multiple enemies firing at them. Of course. 2nd Georgia Battalion's going to charge. They haven't been engaged at all. Great. Counter battery fire must be dealing a toll on some of our guns over here. Guys aren't routed yet, although you can see that close-in firing really does Who just got routed? One of my Mahone's regiments? Great. Well, Mahone's brigade's gonna go away. I always had a thing for Mahone and Kershaw. They just seem like interesting characters. I know nothing about their personal lives. I mean, more of like from a historical interest. I think they had the coolest looking portraits on Civil War generals too, so that probably colored some of my interest in them. But I never really did anything to like figure out what they, you know, what their evaluation would be as a commander. I always just thought they probably were good. Maybe completely invalid as an assumption. I don't know. All right, refuse your flank. Florida, you're the one regiment I have in reserve. You're coming up here to try and make sure they don't roll my whole flank up. Meet the volley command. I don't even know what it does in this game. I think it, you know, based on its name, it should cause your troops to fire in organized volleys. I'm not sure if it really does that or not. We've wounded 2 of their officers over here, or at least one of them. You can see he's walking around with his hand in a sling. Well, Uzi just got routed. Or one of his regiments, anyway. Alright, if they're not going to shoot at you, we're just going to advance you up the hill. You're not taking any fire, so we'll close your range. Oh, now they are. Someone is, anyway. Who's retreating? I don't really care about these guys over here. I mean, as long as they pull the Federals away and they're not able to stack up more than they already are on our flank, I don't really care. 10th Alabama, you'll form up here. Alright, we're so close to this ridge. Or it feels like we are. Blocked. Swing out over here. Maybe you can get out from underneath the 16th Mississippi. There you go. Come on, rout these bastards. We need to take Plank Hill. This is the key objective in this game, in this scenario. Oops. Holy shit, the 5th Florida's way out ahead of its rest of its units. That's okay. Really? 1/2 hour already? Alright, you're gonna charge these guys. Oh, they've got additional troops behind? Right, get up there. There you go. You broke them. Good job. Artillery doing anything? Oh, they're all on counter battery fire. I'd rather you target infantry at this point. Try and move over here, see if you can see more from this knoll. I'd like you to try and help us on the objective. Alright, 48th Georgia is not being shot at, so they're going to advance. Our flanks are covered. I feel like the title of this book, or of my command, would be Defeat Without Victory. The Life and Times of the Historical Butcher, the only Civil War officer who ever managed to command an entire army and never meet with any success at all. Alright, you guys gotta try and break these guys. Nope, you're not. Nope. We're approaching the hill. Hold your positions. We routed 1 regiment, 2 regiments now. Sometimes the timely charge pays off. Right, swing this way. Artillery's focusing in on the 16th Mississippi, but no infantry at the moment. J Street, if you lose this battle, I believe it is a defensive battle, with Pickett trying to hold open the escape for the Confederates. So theoretically, if we were to lose this fight, then the whole objective would be to essentially just prevent the Confederate Army from being completely destroyed. I believe if we win this battle, this prevents a decisive federal victory, although I could be wrong on that one. I don't think there's any way they can win decisively if we win this battle, at least tactically. A marginal victory, I'm not sure about. So we really do need to take this objective. We got 3 regiments firing at 1. You'd think we'd be able to overwhelm them here. Finally saw our sort of experience advantage kick in here, where our troops with better experience were able to outlast their federal the counterparts. All right, these guys. Oh, they only have 126 men, but they have complete health. 2 regiments charging in on them simultaneously. At least for the very short moment, it's claiming that we've taken the objective. General Perry has been wounded. All right. So General Wright's troops have taken the hill. And once again, the computer decides the middle of the most important spot on the battlefield is the place you want to send skirmishers. Second Florida has just been like chilling, like, this is the best battle ever. We don't have to do anything. All right. 10 minutes. Question is if we can actually do anything. I didn't mean to charge. I wanted you to charge the skirmishers, not the infantry. Why don't you turn your flank, and then the problem will be solved. Shit. You just routed my infantry. Charge those skirmishers away. Why don't you guys form skirmisher formation? That'll make you a lot less vulnerable to enemy artillery. Our whole right flank is caving in. We just gotta hope they don't have enough time to do anything. 5 minutes. We just have to hold Plank Hill a little bit longer. Hold it a little bit longer. Oh, what are you doing charging that way? Drive the damn skirmishers off. That's your objective. we're under 5 minutes. We just have to hold for another minute or two. I think when it gets to 5 minutes, I kind of wonder if it's a real-life 5-minute timer rather than some sort of simulated timer. In any event, I think to win a decisive victory would have had to... Oh shit, Plank Farm's exposed. Alright, it's over. Marginal Confederate victory. Hey, I'll take a victory anywhere I can get it. We suffered remarkably, and we lost 700 more men than the Union once again. The 3rd Georgia, which is a routed huddle of men, is all that's left of the Confederate forces there. But it was a victory for the Confederates at the evening of July 2nd. We hung in there, guys. We hung in there. Again, we get the sad, sad music, but I think we at least avoided a decisive Union victory. I guess we'll find out in a moment.
Have you walked among our camps this evening, General Lee?
I have indeed, sir. It weighs heavy on my heart to see our men in such a broken state after this sorry day's affair. General Longstreet, we must resolve to do better in tomorrow's contest. We must look more carefully to our planning and execution, so that these brave souls who rely on us for guidance may yet win the victory we seek.
Oh man, these Yankees are tough. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of Sid Meier's Gettysburg, playing as the Confederacy. We finally got off the hump. We finally won a battle, even if it was only a marginal battle. We held the right flank of the Confederate Army. We prevented the Union from getting in along our flank and into our rear. We prevented the Union from being able to effectively destroy our army on July 3rd. My hunch means that we will have something similar to Pickett's charge, or maybe Pickett's charge in reverse with the Union coming at us on July 3rd. I'm not quite sure. We will find that out next time, however. So we have lost 4 battles. We have won 1 battle. Not a single battle thus far in this game has been decisive, however, and that means really kind of a back-and-forth, close-run thing. The granddaddy of them all, the deciding battle, is what we'll have next time. Until next time, however, it is the Historical Gamer once again saying thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm out.